So Heavy Metal is back in D2. The event, once again, is running for 7 days, so you have a week to get anything you want from the event, and it's working similarly to how it did when it first premiered with the whole event rank system, but this time you can farm 2 different new weapons from the event. And for this video, I want to answer the question of, is it worth it to do the event at all for either of these weapons or both of them, and if there is, what is the reason or reasons? Before I get started, I want to mention a terrible bug going on right now that you might have experienced with Heavy Metal, and that's flying in from the tower into matches, which will then give you blue rewards, or year 1 rewards. Yeah, that's a thing. To avoid this, you have to launch from the portal every single time, otherwise you will get trash rewards, unfortunately. With that out of the way, let's talk about the weapons. So the first weapon is going to be Synanceia, a solar wave sword frame that is in the heavy slot. If you don't know what wave sword frame means, it means this kind of attack. So there you go. Right out the gate, I can tell you without even any details, this is the best solar sword in the game, and I don't even think it's close. Besides the fact that it's a new weapon, which means it gets the seasonal bonuses, more damage resist. It also gets enhanced perks and traits, and it also gets enhanced mods. Plus, you can use things like Temporal Blast on it. Just on that alone, it's the best sword in the game. Couple that with the fact that the other solar swords in the game, most of which you can't even get anymore, are pretty trash. You have False Idols, which was a year ago at this point in final shape, mediocre at best. You have a By the Return, a reissued weapon, again, mediocre, if not worse. Then you have ones that are like Caretaker, which I think you can maybe only get from either Banshee or Zur, so I don't even really count that as playing the lottery like 8 times over. And then Solar Scar, they'll probably bring that back in Trials at some point, but right now I don't think you can even get this. Also, none of these get the tiered enhancement treatment either. You kind of get the drift. And of course, it being a wave sword frame, it's the first of its kind in Solar 2, I believe. The main selling point to this is eager edge for a lot of people. They want to zoom around, do skating and all that, and there's a downside and an upside to this. So, the upside is you can eager edge light skate, like so, as you can. And I believe you can go a little bit further than other sword frames. I haven't actually tested that yet myself, but the other thing is the, shatter skate and wall skate, well, yeah, that's it. Maybe a wall skate, you go a couple of inches forward, but you can't really skate with this sword other than doing the light attack with eager edge. Not being able to shatter or wall skate is a little annoying, but it's not the end of the world, at least not to me. What makes this sword good is the rest of its perks and its origin trait. For the origin trait, we have Tenacity. When targets are nearby, final blows grant weapon damage and an improved amount of reload speed and handling until the wielder's death. Already a banger origin trait, nothing to complain about there. Then it has other good perks, such as Attrition Orbs. Anytime that you're slicing something with a sword, you will make orbs. So, for an example, if I'm going to be cutting up this captain and I'm in a damage phase against the boss, let's say, I will occasionally make orbs, which will give it to my teammates as well, giving them armor charges or reapplying their armor charges, whatever they need. Maybe they're using Star Eater scales, things like that. There's another perk in the third column that's extremely underrated right now, and that's Sharp Harvest. This says, landing 3 light attack hits within an improved short amount of time grants special ammo. I guess this would just say short amount of time if this wasn't enhanced. So it gives special ammo on just 3 light attack hits. So just as an example, I'm wasting ammo here with my Mountaintop and my Choir of 1, and then all you gotta do is just hit enemies, and bang, you're getting ammo back. Yeah, you get 1 bullet of Mountaintop per 3 hits or whatever, and then you get a little bit for Choir of 1, but you're literally making ammo out of thin air by doing nothing other than either DPSing, or you're just like going around murdering a bunch of dregs. Free ammo is always a good thing. This sword also has some interesting damage setups, so with Tenacity, that I already mentioned, you can gain bonus damage. You can also roll double damage perks with this sword, with Surrounded and Element of Honing both being in the 4th column, and then Assassin's Blade being in the 3rd column. Surrounded in particular is interesting because this origin trait wants you to be near enemies, and with Surrounded, obviously, you're always going to be near enemies to proc it, to get that 42.5% damage buff, I believe, which is the highest you can get on a sword currently anyway. So you can stack Surrounded, you can stack Tenacity, you can stack Assassin's Blade, and go for a F-ton of damage if you're fighting a boss, champion, whatever. Or you can replace this with, again, Attrition Orbs to make orbs, or Sharp Harvest to make green for yourself. You can also get Relentless Strikes on this, so you can kind of get some ammo back while you're doing all of this, like, let's say, on Crota, or Herald of Finality, for example. And to close this out, I also want to mention there's some lesser perks, at least to me, that are still also very good, that being Proximity Power in the 3rd column for your melee stat, Chain Reaction in the 4th column just for general add-clear explosions and things like that, and maybe Burning Ambition if you can somehow make a Scorch Ignition build around this sword, but I doubt that's going to be the purpose of this sword for you. For the second weapon, it is a shotgun, Trachinus, at least I hope that's how it's pronounced. It's a rapid-fire slug, and you'll notice that it's a 90 RPM shotgun, and that actually makes a difference. You'll see in a second. So this shotgun is not as much of a big deal as a sword, I would think, at least for the general public, but I will say it does have two nice perks in the fourth column, and those are Precision Instrument and Chill Clip. Chill Clip probably stands out the most to most people. It also has Vice Stinger as well as Tenacity on the origin traits, enhanced and all that, so that's all great. Now, the main thing to note about this shotgun is not going to be the perks, but rather the mag. So, here's a demonstration of me just shooting my ammo into this robot, right? So yeah, we're just shooting normally, blah blah blah, Chill Clip is proccing, all good, right? Yep, alright. So, that's how the shotgun shoots normally. Now, if we equip Assault Mag, you might notice that this increases the RPM by 50 points. Not 5. 50. And if you think, oh, Sneak, it's just a visual bug. It's not actually 50, right? Yeah, it's not 50. Yeah, that's definitely only 5 points. So as you can see, that mag right there, Assault Mag, big difference. A big difference in terms of, like, you know, DPS things and shooting champions down, yellow bars, all that. Big difference. So the first thing I would say immediately, if you're going to go for the shotgun, Assault Mag is a must-have. At least until Bungie nerfs it, unless it's intended. Who knows these days? But once you actually have Assault Mag, then I think it's a good shotgun to have for, like, Chill Clip setups. So let's say I'm fighting, you know, an Overload champion. I can just go bang, bang, and the Overload champion is stunned, frozen, shattered, whatever. Easy cleanup for any ad wave content. And to go with that, I have Rhyme Stealer in the third column, which says destroying a stasis crystal or defeating a frozen target with this weapon grants you improved amounts of Frost Armor. Frost Armor is DR, it's basically the stasis version of Woven Mail, and that's very, very good. So, you can run a build where you would stack Frost Armor on top of yourself and give yourself DR just by simply shooting things and freezing and shattering them with this much higher RPM than normal. Also, the other perk to look out for in the third column, at least in my opinion, would be Let from Gold. If I want to be perfect roll, I'd want Rhyme Stealer and Let from Gold online, and then with Chill Clip, and the last perk I want to talk about, Precision Instrument. So Precision Instrument is interesting because this is a buff that goes up to plus 30% extra damage based on the amount of stacks when it's enhanced anyway, and you can utilize that with this Assault Mag setup as well. The concept would be the same as Chill Clip. You just shoot the target, but this time you're doing more damage because of Precision Instrument. So you just stack up your damage like so, do a reload dodge if you want, do it again, and you're also getting 2 stacks of Frost Armor this way, and you're putting up how much? 2896 by 18,293. Let's give it one more shot. Alright, what do we got here? 2832 by 19,480. So, it's pretty consistent. So, in my conclusion, are these weapons worth doing the event over? Are they super god tier weapons that are just the best in the game? No, they're not. They're not going to be like god roll tier 5 mid retrogrades level of juice, right? However, they are very good. They have their uses. I think they have some potential, especially the sword in certain situations. And given that the event is just play heavy metal, which is just a fun, silly party game, I think it's in your interest to at least try to get some of these rolls, like maybe one god roll of each if you can. Obviously, if you have time to play. If you don't have time to grind heavy metal, then so be it. But otherwise, if you log in regularly or do your daily bounties or whatever, I think you should at least get a good sword, in my opinion. What do you guys think, though? Do you like the sword, the shotgun? Do you hate them both? Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, if you did enjoy the video or found it helpful, please consider subscribing today. It does help the channel grow and is much appreciated. If you want to go the extra mile, you can leave a like and or comment below as well. If you don't know what to leave as a comment, you could leave heavy metal as the comment. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.